You're Worth It, a BNHA multi-character ex-listener fanfiction. It was Friday evening, and as you were getting ready for bed, your phone started blowing up. 20 new messages from none other than Denki Kaminari. The blonde-haired dummy was going off about something you didn't quite understand. "I'll read them in a second," you mumbled. This week had been treating you horribly, and you were ready to just go to sleep and forget. You continued on to wash your face and brush your teeth. It wasn't like this hadn't happened before, but this time you were just done. School had been way too tiring, and you'd been losing a lot of sleep studying. The situation at home was getting worse. Your parents were fighting more and more. This meant whenever you got home, you'd have to deal with them yelling at each other, and you as well. They were mad about your grades, about who you hung out with, and basically anything that wasn't to their liking. Since everything seemed to be going downhill, you got hit with waves of sadness, and your anxiety attacks happened more often. You really needed someone to just vent to, honestly. You finished getting ready for bed and reached out for your phone to see what Denki wanted to say. "Hey, YN, if you could find some time, do you want to head down to the common room? I want to give you something." "YN? Hello? Are you there? Hello?" It looked like he was afraid you'd flat out ignore him or something, since he'd sent many more messages asking if something he said pissed you off or if you didn't want to come. Phone still in hand, you stumble down to the common room. It was dark, besides the few lamps on the side tables by the couches. You quirked one eyebrow as you didn't see Denki anywhere. The common room was completely empty. Suddenly, you felt someone's arm sneak around your waist and pull you into a hug. You turned around and were met with Denki's smiling face. "Denki, what are you doing?" you asked the boy, who was yet to let you go from the hug. "Just wait a second," is all you responded with. You looked at him with confusion in your eyes. All of a sudden, the lights turned on, and behind Denki stand a whole group of people. "We came to surprise you since we saw how you were feeling down this week," Mina exclaimed. You scolded yourself for not being able to hide your emotions better, since now everyone had to take time out of their day to help you. "And before you go telling us that this is unnecessary, we're doing this because we all appreciate everything you did for us, Teddy Bear," Bakugo said, taking Denki's place in the hug. "How did you know I was thinking that, Katsuki?" you softly questioned him. "You're willing to do a world of things for others, but you never take time for yourself," he responded. "It's not difficult to tell, to be honest." You melt into the hug. After about 5 minutes, everyone had taken place on the couch and was chatting with one another. A bunch of people had come up to you, Shinso being one of them. He had heard from Denki you weren't doing too well and insisted on coming over. "I realize life isn't easy, and it's not just you, I promise. You'll get over this, I swear. If not, I'll personally make sure you get cheered up," he told you. It was heartwarming that someone who was an introvert, like him, was willing to help you out. Shinso wasn't in the same class as you, so you didn't get to see him too often. But when you guys did hang out, you could always be found surrounded by a lot of cats, just drinking coffee and talking. He was the kind of guy you could tell all of your secrets to, and he wouldn't be the one to judge you for them. He had kept everything you told him to himself, and of course, with knowing things others didn't, had been able to comfort you very well. Another good example was someone who'd managed to make you smile in just a minute. Kirishima had approached you pretty early on in the evening. He hugged you and gently pat your head. "You know, even if the world were to collapse, I'd never let go of you. I'll always be the boulder that protects you. You're safe with me in my arms, and if you ever need someone to cry to, my door is always open," he said. "Thanks, Kiri," you responded, tears welling in the corners of your eyes. Kiri was your best friend ever since you joined UA, and it meant the world to you that he was so supportive. You'd often ramble to him about things that bothered you, and he'd listen to all of it. Not even mindlessly, no. He would sit there and listen to every single thing you said. You felt a tap on your shoulder. Looking behind you, you see Mina, Momo, and Jiro. Hey, YN, we wanted to thank you, Mina starts. You're an amazing friend, and we're all very glad that you joined us on this journey to becoming a hero, Jiro confessed. School would definitely be way less fun if you weren't here, you know, Mina says. You've saved me from getting scolded by Aizawa-sensei many, many times. I know it's my own fault for not paying better attention into class, but I can't help it that there are so many better things to do than study. She finishes with a sigh. Yeah, same here, Jiro chuckled. It's always a lot of fun when you come over and we have a jam session in my room, so I really hope we can continue doing so, and if you ever need anything, you can always call me up. Momo let the other two girls finish and hands you a drink. I also wanted to say that I love being around you. From the times when you just come over for some tea to the times where I've helped you study, you have the ability to brighten up any room, and that's something I admire about you. You never fail to make others smile. When she saw that you'd finished the drink, she took the red solo cup from you and left to throw it away. YN, can I tell you something? You heard someone behind you mumble. You saw the third-year Tamaki standing there, fiddling with the hem of his shirt. Of course, Tamaki, what is it? You say, smiling at him. Well, you see, he starts, seemingly gaining some confidence from you smiling at him. We don't see each other too often, since, just like you and Shinsa, we're in different classes. But I still really admire you. Whenever you fight, even if it is just practice, you always look so confident, and when you win, the smile on your face brightens my day, he says with a bright pink blush visible on his face. I often wish that I had that much confidence, to be honest, he stutters. Seeing that he's getting a bit more anxious, you wrap your arms around him and pull him into a hug. Thank you, Tamaki. That means a lot to me, you know. Hearing something like that from a third year that's way more professional than me isn't nothing, you say, patting his head. You think I'm professional? He mutters. The compliment seemed to be a little bit too much for the boy, who bolted off with a dazed look on his face. I see you're done with your conversation with him, Todoroki says, looking at your slightly confused face. Yeah, I guess. Then Midoriya and I would also like to say something, since it's getting really late, he says, signaling for Midoriya to go first. Yeah, the broccoli haired boy responds. I think it's really cool how you're able to analyze situations so quickly. Whenever you have to fight fake villains, you're usually the first one to come up with a plan. You're a good leader and everyone trusts your decisions, he says with a bright smile. I feel like you don't get told this enough, but you really are strong, you know, Todoroki begins. People like to critique each other, and that usually ends up in someone's feelings getting hurt. I just wanted you to know that whatever happens, you'll always be strong to me. Don't let anyone tell you differently, okay? The dual-haired boy finished, showing you one of his rare smiles. Never stop being you, okay?